Hello friends, I'm Sarabjit. Today we'll talk about startup idea and how it leads to the formation of a startup and creation of co-founders teams, and ultimately about the extended team when the startup is ending at the validation stage and going to market. The presentation is in three sections. First, we talk of the startup idea, the formation of the core team when we have the idea in place, then extended startup team, what it means. Now, entrepreneurs have startup idea, so everything starts with the idea. So let's look at entrepreneurs first. There's a sole entrepreneur. She wants to do something, so she'll start a small business, maybe. She can be a private trader or a freelancer, or she can be more ambitious and do some serious business, like starting a limited liability company. Surprisingly, this need not to cost much, not in today's world. Then this sole entrepreneur has an idea and she says that I will create a startup designed for exponential growth. That's fine. So you have an idea, and the first step here is to form a team, because alone you just cannot make a great startup. You have to have at least one or two people joining you right at the beginning, and then you can get accepted into an incubator or an accelerator and make a great startup. Now, 80% of all businesses post COVID-19 are coming from startups. In this era of the pandemic, big businesses are faltering unless they are really up to the mark and are doing things which customers want. And customers' demands have changed drastically. So very few companies are able to do what the customers want. But startups always do what customers want. That's why 80% of the business is now coming from startups. So co-founders core team, which consists of two members or maybe only one. Okay, how do we do this? So potential startup co-founder is an entrepreneur who wants to build or join a startup venture with or without an idea or problem they want to solve. Okay, so they have to have a general knowledge about a lot of things and have the right attitude and culture and things like that. We'll see about that now. Okay. Then selecting core co-founder team. So what do you need? So you need committed co-founder members in the team. You have to be committed, and one or two other people who join you also have to be committed with entrepreneurial attitude. This means an attitude of, yes, I can, let's do it, attitude like that, forward looking. Skills and resources that are required for startup should be there with you. And you should have both the members or three members who join in the beginning, they should have an aligned vision, mission, and strategy. This will be formed right at the beginning of the startup when these members join. Okay, and we'll all have to be aligned and working to this shared vision, mission, and strategy. And there has to be balanced ownership. Everybody brings in something different to the team, and so they make complementary contributions. So we have to we have clear and agreed IPRs, meaning intellectual property rights. How are we going to share these IPRs? So for this, we sign an SHA, shareholders agreement. It's very clear how everything is shared in a startup. This is one of the few SHAs that are formed and signed in a startup. Now, a team has to have idea worth customer testing to start with, and problem solution fit for market with enough potential should exist in this idea that you have got. So just having an idea may not really work. You have to really develop it. And in another video that I'll be posting today itself, we'll talk about how an idea actually is built into a marketable idea and solution. And we have to be aware of market timings. Again, we'll talk about this in the next video. And the idea for scalable business model should exist. We just can't have a small idea which will not really get you many customers. That's not the idea of a startup. So focus to complete above steps before moving to the next stage. Okay. So those steps which we have to complete, I'll discuss in the next video. So what is the next stage? If you do not complete all steps, that is premature scaling. So you must go from stage to stage. Otherwise, this is called premature scaling. Now, premature scaling, if it happens, will only lead you round and round. Your startup may get stalled because you did not complete all the steps that were required at each stage of the startup. Now, how do we gear up for the journey? So we have a base business on you have to base the business on your vision, and you need very different gear and setup, say to climb a big objective like the Mount Everest, than to climb a small hill. Now, startup is a real big objective. So we have to have a vision aligned with this high growth business that we are setting up. So now we have to spend enough time at the base camp. Like if you climb Mount Everest, you have to do a lot of preparation at the base camp. Then only you will reach the summit. Same thing is here, that in the beginning we have to do a lot of work before we really get to the market. So what we need to do is agreements, plans, team, strategy. All this has to be put in place, and tools, attitude, commitment, advisors, sponsors, etc. have to be lined up. And then understand the balance, benefit, and strategies of short-term and long-term thinking and planning. So as we said, to climb a small hill, we need a very small vision, but a vision required in creating startup has to be very, very strong. And we'll teach you how to form this vision and connected mission and strategies. Now, the journey from the start to achieving the vision, which is like climbing Mount Everest, there are a lot of unknowns. So the journey is tough. It is easier to start a private limited company and do much, but to do a startup, everything is unknown, because startup creates something which is totally new to the world. It's a lot of work and you have to keep at it. But don't give up, because startups can earn you millions and even billions. So we start with the team and culture. So having the right team is the key. It is more important than the idea you start with. The right team. A good team can make success even from bad idea. As they learn, they adapt and can find the right idea. They can change the idea and get ahead. But not having a good team, you will simply give up. Bad team can't get even a good idea to work. Okay? That's the key. Those that do more are more lucky. That's what people say. When somebody is achieving something, oh, he's lucky. Yes, that's true. People who work hard get all the success, and everybody thinks it's just luck, but it's not. And volume always leads to more opportunities and faster learning. Now, volume means that you do more and you achieve, see more opportunities and learn faster and do more. And in a startup, you have to be international by design. You don't have to think small or local. You have to think like an international player. How do we build the best team? Look for A-level people who are better than you in some areas. You may be great in one area. Now you look for people who are good in something else, so that you both contribute to each other's success. Even right at the beginning, when you're alone and you're looking for a partner as a co-founder, look for somebody who has, complementary skills which will add to the startup, not the same skills as you. Okay. A-level people are typically motivated more by the journey and challenge than just money. Just think of this. Great people will want to join a startup. They will look not for money immediately, but they'll sacrifice a lot and do a lot to achieve great things and earn money as a byproduct. A-level people look for other A-level people they want to work with and to learn from. A-level people learn from each other. Okay, that's why you must look for A-level co-founders, nothing less than that. Now, B-level people have commitment issues and are less motivated by challenges and more about money itself. They'll only say, okay, what's in it for me? How much money will I make? So don't go in for these type of people when creating a startup. So another characteristic of B-level people is that they look for C-level people so that they can look better than they are. The result is that a B-level person brings the whole company down. Attitude above everything else. If there is no right, let's get it done attitude, no skill will matter in the long term. Right skills with the right attitude is what you need. Now, we need a balanced basic core team and skill structure. So you need design, build, and business. This is the right balance to start with. And if you have three people working, that is yourself and two other co-founders, this would create a fantastic balanced team. Otherwise, you may have to say one person will design, other will build, and two of you together will look at the business end. Now, a startup co-founder wears many hats, there are various roles you have to fulfill. Co-founders as board of directors, then co-founders as the management itself, not just the board of directors, co-founders as the resource, human resource in different areas that they bring in. Now, let's look at an extended startup team. As business grows, roles grow. First, only 2-3 people were working and they were looking at the basics. Now, as the business grows, you have to do more than simply creating a vision, mission, strategy, and then working on the idea to make it great. The founder's roles as business grows include, initially collectively you handle all the roles. Then what happens is that as business grows, you become, say, a board of directors. Then you look at doing the core management yourself. Then you look at specific business function resources. And finally, as owners, you have to look at the business from another angle. A mature team of 4 co-founders consists of the original co-founders, the CEO and the CEO. The CEO handles the big picture, the vision, mission, and what you really want to achieve at the end. So he's the dreamer who plans how we'll go ahead. Now, COO means the Chief Operating Officer. He looks at the day-to-day business and he's on the ground. The CEO is looking into the clouds. They make an ideal combination. Now, additional co-founders you need are carefully added during the validation stage. As you go from the formation stage into the validation stage, you will add these co-founders. In the formation stage, you have only the CEO and the COO. As you go into the next stage, which is the validation stage, validating the minimum viable product that you created during the formation stage, now you have to go to market. So you go from minimum viable product to the final product. At this stage, you have to add many additional co-founders. And these have to be very carefully selected. You cannot have B-listers or people who already have the skills which you have and can only do what you do. So this is the way this balanced mature team develops. You have co-founders with equity. The original co-founders have great roles and they have equity, maybe more than others. Then when they add other people like the project manager, chief technical officer, chief marketing officer, then sales manager and the chief financial officer, these people also come on the board as co-founders. So these are the co-founders. Here we are shown 7 who have equity and they will create a great startup. You need all these people to work in key roles and with other people you hire when you go to market. So don't be stingy about this. So when you go to market, you need a lot of people. So prepare to go to market. We add additional people to our startups. For instance, we add startup advisor, then legal advisor, then industry specific advisor, financial advisor. The CFO is there, but we may need financial advisor for other things. Then business advisor and a lot of more other skills. Okay, so typical roles in a startup are a core operative co-founders team of 2 to 3, other founding team members, 5 as I showed earlier, but you can have say even 8. Other teams and employees join in as we are going to market. Then we have shareholders who join because we need a lot of money when we get to prepare to go to market and release the final product. And board members, you may have your own co-founders as board members, but external board members may also join. And then you have advisors and mentors to help you right throughout the growth stage and into the exponential stage of the business. So gentlemen, thank you very much. This is all about what we want to do in this startup.